Let's talk about Umbrella Academy Season 3. Alright, I just want to go ahead and give a quick warning that I'm going to be exclusively talking spoilers in this video because it's been a little bit since the season has come out on Netflix, and hopefully you all have had time to watch it if you're interested in this video, because there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about, but I have to go into detail about this stuff. So this is your spoiler warning. We're going to talk about spoilers in 3, 2, 1. You've been warned. Okay, so Umbrella Academy Season 3 has been one of my most anticipated seasons of television this year, even more than Obi-Wan Kenobi, because Season 1 and 2, Season 2 especially, were just some of the best television I've seen in a long time. I think the ensemble is all great characters. The story, while a little bit repetitive sometimes, is fantastic. I mean, Umbrella Academy is a wonderful show. Or at least it was. Okay, I may have just been saying that just to say that. Umbrella Academy is still good. I did enjoy Season 3. I just think it's the weakest of the season. And it's not so much the overall story. It's just, I didn't like the characters as much this season as I did in the previous. And the most important part of that, like the most egregious example, is the way Allison was handled. I think Allison has been probably one of the most important characters for me of season 1 and 2. I loved her character, but the way she was written for season 3, she made the show almost unwatchable. Like, anytime she was on screen, I felt tired watching the show. This would have been a show I would have been binge watched. I would have. Unfortunately, I could not, because Allison's character she just rubbed me the wrong way. And I can't really blame her, I guess, because clearly she was hurting, right? But they all were hurting, and I don't want to make this video a rant about Allison. And I've seen online that a lot of people agree with me. Allison is the most egregious example of just how poorly the characters were handled this season. It's just, she was just, for me, just the weakest part. We'll just leave it at that. Another weak part, and this is nowhere near as a weak thing for me as Allison, but it was the way they handled the Victor reveal. Now, I want to preface this by saying I am perfectly fine with Elliot Page deciding that they are Elliot now, and I'm perfectly fine with them wanting to, accompany that and put that in the show to make them feel more comfortable. I just don't think it was handled very well. But I'm not a screenwriter. I don't think I could have written it any better. It just seemed very, does that make sense? Like, I don't really know how to say this right without sounding like a asshole. But just, all right, they cut their hair. They decide they're Victor now, right? But then they spend like 4 or 5 scenes telling everybody. Now, obviously all the characters weren't all there. I get that. But I feel like it would have been better to kind of wait to tell everybody until all the family was there. If that makes sense. Because, yeah, it's a difficult, thing for Victor to talk about. Or at least from my understanding, it probably would be. And, they wanted to make it apparent that, this is okay. And I get that. I just feel like they really were hammering it in, I'm glad it took away screen time from Allison for the most part. But and that scene with Allison, before Allison got all weird between her and Victor, I thought it was good. You can tell that they have a wonderful relationship, and then it becomes tragic when their relationship breaks, you know. But I just thought the idea of spending like 3 or 4 or 5 scenes actually giving the same information again was a little bit wasted. But again, I don't think I could have written it any better, to be honest, because I'm not a screenwriter. I'm just saying that for me, it could have been handled a little better. While we're talking about characters, we may as well talk about Klaus. Klaus, as for me, and as I've seen for a vast majority of fans, been one of the most enjoyable characters of the show. And in this season, while I feel like he wasn't in it as much as previous seasons, I thought his stuff was better, honestly, because that whole dynamic with him and Reginald Hargreaves, there we go, was just delightful to watch. You know, they all have daddy issues, right? That's the whole point of the show. The whole reason they're all together is the daddy issue stuff. But I feel like Klaus has had the most daddy issues, and seeing him sort of have a relationship with his father. Not really his father, because, you know, whole timeline crap, but seeing Klaus get some, you know, sort of relationship with the person that looks, sounds, talks exactly like their father was bittersweet. Sweet because, you know, Klaus finally gets something like that. You know, his life is, from, you know, the viewer's perspective, been pretty awful. But seeing that, you know, I guess joy he's getting from like actually getting to know his father and seemingly help his father, that was awesome. The bitterness comes from the fact that Reginald Hargreaves, Mr. Alien Bug himself, is an asshole. He's just an asshole, and that was so hard to watch him kill Luther and then leave Klaus for dead. Man, that freaking sucked, because I thought, like, you know, whole new timeline, he's gonna be awesome in this timeline. He's gonna be a good person. Nope. I mean, we kind of saw that coming with the whole, I think his name is Pogo, the chimp guy. Sorry, there's a lot of characters in the show, but saying, like, he's not taking his meds kind of stuff, like, the reason he gave him the meds is to get him to stop thinking about Hotel Oblivion. I was like, oh man, so he's stuff's gonna go down, and it was unfortunate. But I did like the fact that Klaus did, for just a fraction of his life, get to have a good portion of it with his father, and I'm happy. Okay, so let's talk about story. We have 3 for 3 Apocalypse. I don't know if it's getting old or if it's becoming a running gag. Maybe a little bit of both. This is definitely my least favorite Apocalypse, I guess. Personally, I think season 2 is my favorite season. I just love the aesthetic. That was a great season. This one, like I said, is good, not the best. The whole idea of, you know, what am I looking for here? The paradox. I like that. I do. The circumstances of conveniently all of their mothers are killed at the same time, at the on the same day they're supposed to be born, I think. That was a little, yeah, okay kind of thing. But okay, we'll go with that. So we have a paradox. A grandfather paradox, I believe, is the correct term based on what the show tells us. I do like that. I did think it was a little contrived, the fact that everything in existence is going away except for this hotel. And I think they kind of poked fun at that in the story itself. Like, oh, everybody's gone except for the people that can fix this. Yeah, a little. Okay. But I thought it was beautiful looking. The effects on just everything was great. This is probably the best the effects have looked on the show for me. And I mean, just that giant orb of black holes or whatever. I thought that stuff was good. The sparrows were okay. Now, I have never read any of the Umbrella Academy comics, especially since I started the show, because I was like, I just want the show to tell me its story. I don't want any preconceived notions about how the characters are supposed to act. So I don't know the sparrows. I thought they were fine. Ben was definitely my least favorite. Probably because I actually liked his character pre being a sparrow. And I think it's supposed to be like that. Like, I am the audience supposed to be on the Umbrella Academy side. They know their brother. And this guy is so drastically different. Did not like him. I'm sure, the Umbrella, they're not supposed to like him either. So they did a good job, I guess, on that point. But he just seemed so assholey. Just like Allison. But Allison for different reasons. And Allison even more, really. But yeah, the sparrows were fine. It was interesting that they were all killed except for Sloane and Ben. I even like the relationship between Sloane and Luther a little bit. It is a little weird. We need to talk about Luther for a second. And this goes in with Allison. Her essentially raping Luther. That was pretty fucked up. That's another thing that Allison is like unforgiven for what's going on here, because listen, they butchered Allison's character this season. Maybe that was on purpose. I don't know, but damn, did I not like her this season. Anyway, back to the story. So you've got the apocalypse again, and the only way to escape it is to go to Hotel Oblivion, and it had that guard or multiple guards. I don't know if it was some weird you see your own guard thing, or there actually just were multiple. That stuff was pretty cool. The fights, the fact that Diego got his finger cut off. There was some real stakes. Well, at least perceived stakes, I guess. The whole I built this hotel over a portal that I found out in the middle of a cornfield back in the early 1900s. That was also pretty weird. But again, he's an interdimensional being or something, I guess. So, for all I know, he just had to open up his version of Google Maps, to find, I don't know. But, for me, this whole apocalypse, the whole, saving themselves stuff, wasn't my favorite interpretation of the season, I guess. I don't know. I still like the season. I just liked it less. I think this was definitely a step down. Whereas season 2 from season 1 was a step up. Season 3 from season 2 is a step down. And it's even a step down from season 1. But hey, those are just my thoughts on Umbrella Academy Season 3. Tell me in the comment section down below what you thought. I hope you liked it. I hope everybody likes it, because Umbrella Academy is a great show. It's got 2 fantastic seasons, 1 above average season. I think season 4 hopefully should be on track to being great. Again, there's a lot coming, as you can tell by the way it ended. We didn't even talk about that, but that's fine. I don't know what's coming, to be honest. So yeah. Anyways, leave a like on this video if you want to see more content like this. Go ahead and subscribe for more, and go ahead and click on that video right there for something awesome. Anyways, until next time, my name is Mason. Take care.